Hey everyone, ready to roll those dice. Today's deep dive, we're looking at place value Yahtzee.
And it's interesting, right? We always think about games as just fun, but this one, Place Value Yahtzee, it's got some sneaky math skills hidden in there.
It does. For those not familiar, it's designed for 2 to 4 players, but really at its core, you're rolling 6 dice to create a 6-digit number.
Yeah, so far sounds pretty simple, right? But here's the catch. It's not just about placing those digits anywhere, you're actually trying to meet challenges from the game cards.
Totally. So, say you roll this awesome 4, but the card wants you to put it in the 10,000s place. What then?
Or imagine you're trying to get the smallest number possible, but you keep getting all these sixes on your roll. Suddenly, it really makes you think differently about place value.
That's what gives me, it's not just knowing place value, but how you use it strategically. Could you talk more about that?
Absolutely. Most of us, we go through our day and we're not thinking about how changing a digit's place in a number changes the whole value.
Okay, I need a visual. Give me an example.
All right, let's say you roll a 1, a 3, a 5, a 2, a 6, and a 4. If you arrange those one way, you might have 135,264. But if you just move them around, you could have 543,621.
Whoa, that's way different than I thought. It really shows how much each digit spot matters.
Exactly. And that's what makes those game cards so smart. Players have to constantly think about what the digits are worth, not just on their own, but as part of the whole number.
Like suddenly you're a math whiz, but in a fun way, without the pressure.
Yeah. Speaking of no pressure, what about the bonus roll? This thing is like a lifeline, giving you a second chance, but it makes you think strategically even more.
So picture this. You're at the end, one roll left, and you still haven't gotten that 3 of a kind match, but you have a bonus roll. What would you do?
That's the tough part. Do you try for that missing match and maybe get a high scoring category? Or maybe use it to change a number you already placed and do better on another challenge?
It sounds like that bonus roll just adds a whole new level of thinking and decision making.
It really does. Weighing what could be good and what's risky, that's all part of strategy, a skill that's useful way beyond Yahtzee.
It's amazing how a simple game can have so many chances to learn and grow, and we're just getting started. But before we get into more advanced strategies and how people play this together, let's take a quick break and come back in a bit. We were just talking about all the strategy with the bonus roll, but what I find really fascinating is how this game changes depending on who's playing and how they learn best.
Ah,
Our research showed some cool stuff, especially when younger kids team up.
oh yeah, that's when it gets really good. It's not just about their own dice anymore. They become this little team, arguing about the best moves and explaining why they think so.
So it's less about quiet planning and more about actually talking and working together.
Right. And the cool thing is when you explain something to someone, it often makes you understand it even better yourself. They might even have that aha moment just by talking it out.
It's like when you have to teach someone something, and suddenly you get it more than you ever did before.
Exactly. And it's not just for kids either. Imagine adults playing families, friends. It's like adding a little friendly competition and learning to any gathering.
It's making me want to change up game night. But you know what's great? Place Value Yahtzee does all this without feeling like a boring math lesson.
That's the best part. It's disguised as this fun, engaging game. And what we're really talking about here goes way beyond just place value. It's about building those critical thinking skills and problem-solving abilities that are useful everywhere in life.
Those are huge. Whether you're managing money, planning at work, or even just figuring out a tricky situation, being able to think clearly and adapt is so important.
Got it. Place value Yahtzee gives your brain that workout without it feeling like work. It's like going to the gym for your mind without even realizing it.
And this isn't just by chance. Our research actually found a direct connection between Place Value Yahtzee and the Common Core State Standards for Math.
That's right. It matches up with those educational goals, especially for place value, of course. So it's not just a good time, it's reinforcing key concepts in a way that lines up with what students are learning in school.
This makes me think bigger, taking subjects like math that can be intimidating and turning them into these engaging, easy-to-play games.
It's a pretty amazing approach, right? It makes you wonder, what other things could we do this with? Could we make history or science into games? There's so much potential for creative learning.
It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what games can do for learning. But even sticking with Place Value Yahtzee, there's still so much to talk about. We've covered how strategic it is, how people play it together, and how it matches up with what's taught in school.
Yeah, and with all that, here's what stands out to me. Place Value Yahtzee proves that learning can be both effective and really engaging. It reminds us that sometimes the things we enjoy the most can also be the things that teach us the most.
It really is true. And as we get to the last part of our deep dive into place value Yahtzee, I'm always looking forward to that final thought you leave us with.
Well, we've talked about a lot today, but there's one question our research didn't completely answer. Could this game, with its focus on fun and strategic thinking, actually help with something like math anxiety?
That's interesting. Math anxiety is a real thing, and it can affect how people feel about math and even what they choose to study or do for work. Could a game like this make a difference?
It's a really cool thought. What if, by playing a game like Place Value Yahtzee early on, we could change how people view math? Instead of something scary, it could be seen as fun and achievable.
So instead of feeling like a chore, math could become a challenge, something to figure out with friends or family. And those positive experiences could keep building, making people more confident and even loving to learn.
Exactly. And that brings us to something important for everyone listening to think about. What if the secret to understanding and even liking subjects like math isn't just in textbooks and lectures, but in the power of play?
Yeah, that's a really powerful idea that playing could actually be the key to understanding and even liking things like math, which some people find really tough. It's like we found a secret weapon to fight math anxiety.
It's a fascinating possibility, that's for sure. And it makes you think about the bigger picture of learning through games. When we can learn in a fun, relaxed setting, it can totally change how we feel and what we understand.
It's like hiding those veggies under all that yummy cheese.
Yeah.
You're learning good stuff without even knowing it because you're having too much fun, right? Rolling those dice, making strategies with your friends, it's all good.
Exactly. And that fun factor is key. It takes learning from a chore to something you look forward to. Imagine, instead of dreading math problems, kids and adults are excited to solve them because it feels empowering and exciting.
It's like changing your thinking from, oh, I have to do this, to, heck yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And Place Value Yahtzee shows how a well-made game can make that happen.
You got it. And as we wrap up our deep dive into this game that seems simple but has a lot going on under the surface, I think the big takeaway is don't underestimate the power of play when it comes to learning.
Couldn't agree more. We've seen firsthand how Place Value Yahtzee can boost your strategic thinking, help you work better with others, and maybe even tackle that math anxiety. It really shows that learning can be effective, A&D a blast.
And that's something we can all celebrate. So next time you're looking for an activity that's both fun and enriching, grab some dice, gather your friends and family, and give Place Value Yahtzee a shot.
You might just surprise yourself with how much you learn and how much fun you have along the way. This deep dive into Place Value Yahtzee has been a real eye-opener for me. A good reminder that sometimes the most enjoyable things can also be the ones that teach us the most. Until next time, stay curious, everyone, and keep those dice rolling.